Hey, what's up, everybody? Hunter here, GM. And I wanted to talk today really quickly on why a lot of NFT projects, specifically, let's talk on Bored Ape Yacht Club, CloneX, Azuki, Mutants, prices are down from the previous kind of week highs that we saw, and kind of how this is predictable. Like it was expected that we'd have some kind of cool off here. And does this mean this is the end for NFTs? Is this a bear market? Should we be freaking out? Obviously, no. But I thought we'd just dive into some of those things. Now, one thing that I've noticed is that over the last year is that this market is very cyclical. And that when we have these large rises in price, these large rises in volume at a market level, and you can look at this as a project by project level, the price will actually fall back and it'll find a new floor. As things rise up and the hype happens, people will take profits, sell off, and then a new floor is established. What we've experienced in the last few weeks is critical adoption kind of rate, where we've seen a lot of people flying into the market. We've seen lots of people adopting. We've seen new niches being pushed into, so like streetwear. We've seen more of Asia waking up and getting into the market, and this has led to a large increase in buying. I know also running to the Super Bowl, there's lots of ad and celebrity activations that are going to be happening, and a lot of people are buying into these projects with expectations that the Super Bowl, which I agree, is going to have a large effect with onboarding people into NFTs, or at least putting NFTs in front of millions of people. If we look in the entire market, and we can just look at some charts here, Bored Ape Yacht Club, we're down to 99 floor. Had an amazing rise from the beginning of January, where I think the floor was around like 80, and we had an amazing rise all the way up to 120 floor. The last 2 weeks are kind of the period I'm looking at, and in the last 2 weeks, we saw volume and sales absolutely rise like I've never seen before. And we've seen this. Well, actually, I take that back. We have seen this before. If we look at the all-time for Bored Ape Yacht Club and any other project, these price increases always happen with a huge spike in volume. Price goes up, new floor established. Huge spike in volume and price goes up, new price average floor. So it's steps. We're stepping up, and this is for a lot of projects. But for that floor to be established higher than the previous one after that hype, after that pump, after that announcement or whatever it is, that announcement or that event needs to be value add, utility add, changing the dynamics of the project. If it is not, if it is simply a hyped based pump, because some big collector bought in, and now everybody's, oh, we gotta buy, that floor will fall back to where it used to be, because nothing changed with the project except for hype and buy-in. And a lot of people who bought in are like, oh great, I have this, now what? Are then either going to be like, great, I don't want this is all hype induced, why did I buy this, I got I FOMO'd in. Or you're going to have people that are like, oh no, the floor isn't staying to where it is, I thought this was going to keep going up, and then they get out. And so this is how you need to look at the market. We can see the huge volume here, price goes up, new floor, a little bit of a gradual increase, event here, beginning of the year, and then we're going up. This is, has been the same for CloneX, it's been the same for Azuki. Azuki's on a shorter timeline, where we can see that, we had kind of this is the hype run up. If we look back on a chart, in a few months, I think this will be kind of like that huge spike, and then we're going to kind of come down, we're going to, catch our breath and relax. And this is why I tweeted out this morning, I think the NFT market's going to take a bit of a dip here. It's going to take a bit of a breather, because we've seen, and again, you got to think outside of just the NFT market. What's happening with the Fed and rates? I think there's some concern there, and that's giving some weird price action on ETH. What's happening with other stuff such as ETH. If we look at a chart real quick for ETH, the huge spike that we had was when ETH was sideways, right, in this trading channel. And a lot of people are saying, well, I know this is like a 3 to 5% trading range, but a lot of traders are like, well, there's not a ton of money to be made, swing trading within this range. Where can I look to get profit? And that profit could be had in NFTs, right? The NFT market was going crazy. You had things pumping and dumping. And if you're timing your purchases right and you're looking in the right places, during this period, you could still make money trading NFTs. So a lot of traders that day trade Ethereum, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies took their money and said, all right, let me pull this 100,000, $250,000 and put it into NFTs and see what I can do while ETH is going sideways. And it was also a hedge against ETH. I do think now that we're seeing more price action in Ethereum and a lot of people being like, is Ethereum going to dip back down to 2,300? Are we going to go lower? I want to take some money out for taxes, or I just want to be, bet against Ethereum going down, and I don't want to be locked in NFTs. As we just had this huge spike, they're kind of cycling out. So kind of this all comes down to the whole idea that we have people taking profits. We have people probably concerned about the price action on ETH and, what's the Fed doing? But really this kind of boils down to the whole idea that the whole market had its next kind of rise up. And I think people are a little exhausted. There's a lot of things that have happened in the last 3 weeks, a lot of projects that have changed prices. And I think there is some profit taking happening. I think there are some people saying, all right, my bag's packed, let me chill. And now we're going to have a little bit more selling pressure. And I think people are just going to all the projects going to go, okay, let's see where things are. Let the dust settle. Great. Bored Ape Yacht Club is probably going to hover in the 90s for floor price now, where it was before it's 60. When that was kind of its last solid floor was around 60. Now we're going to be probably in the 90s. And then if anything happens around the Super Bowl or happens with announcement around ApeCoin, then we'll see the next rise or potentially sell off depending on what ApeCoin does. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. One thing that is not induced, I would say, entirely by the market, kind of NFT market, kind of taking this little bit of a dip that we've seen on some floors, is CryptoPunks. And this is not induced anything other than Larva Labs. And I think a lot of people just being done with CryptoPunks after Larva Labs taking their weird stance on V1 punks. For those who aren't aware, we'll put out something on that. But there's V1 punks, which are punks before the punks that we know now. And then there's V2 punks, which are the generic punks that Larva Labs claim ownership and IP ownership to. There's a whole scuffle between if the V1s are real and who owns them, and Larva Labs saying that they dispute that they're real, and that they basically are saying that they'll go after people. And it's been a whole bit of drama, and Larva Labs definitely needing to hire a PR company or at least check their tweets with people before they tweet them, because the community is just not happy. So really what we have, if we look back to this, and what I wanted to kind of just talk about this morning was that, the market, I think across the board has taken a little bit of a breather, where we had highs with Cool Cats up to 15, we're down to 11. And this is, I do admit this, this is a little bit of a cop out, right? The breather's already kind of happened. So it's great, Hunter, you're telling us the market's going to take a little bit of dip after it takes the dip. I don't know. I think also in volume terms, I don't think this is all right, we fell down and right back to it. I do think this is going to take, days, if not weeks, to kind of settle and then play back in. But as I said, I do see the Super Bowl as an NFT catalyst. Things like Atom Bomb Squad, still inherently valuable, nothing wrong with it. But I think a lot of the buy-in and the hype around Bobby's message on Twitter saying we are involved with the Super Bowl, we got contacted by the NFL, which I think might even be regarding the hundreds, but things like that sent people were really excited. And it was great because it put a lot of eyes on an important project, and a project that I think has value. But we're probably going to see the floor settle down to 0.7 to 1. But that's a higher floor than the before, because I think more eyes are on it. People see the value, the utility that Atom Bomb Squad is adding, and how they're probably connected to one of the hottest upcoming, brands. Well, not upcoming. Obviously, the hundreds has been around, but the hundreds is becoming one of the hotter brands that I think people within this community want to own because they see it working with other projects that they connect to, and they say, all right, Atom Bomb Squad and the hundreds align with my interest and my ethos. I want to, I want to rep that. That's fashion. So I do see Atom Bomb Squad still like inherently gaining value, even though they had, this huge sell in, right? Or this buy up. I think there's gonna be some profit taking, and then, obviously the project has changed. It is becoming more of a brand within the NFT community, and a lot of more people want to own it. I still see this being long term a great buy, but we're taking that breather. We're taking a chill pill. We're catching our breath. A lot has been happening here. I know I'm exhausted. If we look at the top 100, a lot of these projects that we see in the top 100 right now are projects that, one, weren't here 3 months ago. And a lot of these projects are projects that, weren't in the top 100, 3 weeks ago. They're projects that came in or haven't been here for a while. And they're just getting this, oh, wait, I forgot about this project. So, really, all I wanted to say today is remember the market moves in cycles. There's going to be ups, and then there's going to be kind of profit taking and a rest, and then a new floor established. Even I think Rug Radio is a great example of this. A lot of the hype has been attention rotation driven. So like I guess the three kind of dynamics here, the two dynamics that people need to remember are the market moves in cycles, and then attention moves in cycles as well. We've seen rotation of attention across the market pretty feverishly over the last couple weeks. And it's kind of been, move your money into the project that just hasn't had the pump yet. It's coming. Where we saw this was the same thing. The huge buy-in, prices shot up. We had like a 1.7, 1.5 floor. And then now we're kind of like, all right, let's take a break. The floor is not going to go back down to 0.4. We're going to settle somewhere higher. But I do think like every project that's had this happen is going to take their kind of break and catch that new floor. I hope this helps. It's how I think about the market, and it's also how I think about if a price pump is going to last, and if it's over or not. Hopefully it will help you not buy the top, but it'll help you avoid FOMO buying as well. So hope you all are doing well. Happy Thursday, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.